How's it going, guys? It's Kyle, the How To Guy 123 here, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys how to make a Minecraft server for Minecraft 1.14.4. and by the way, this will work for newer versions of Minecraft without port forwarding. I want to thank you guys for all the support you made on my original How to Make a Minecraft Server video, but a lot of people seem to have trouble with the port forwarding, so I thought I'd make a tutorial showing you guys how to make a Minecraft server without port forwarding. So it's a little bit easier, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So the first thing you're going to need to do is go down into the description below, and there'll be 3 links. The first link is going to be for Java. If you do not have Java downloaded and installed, this is not going to work. You also need to download the correct version of Java for your computer. So for example, if we come down here to the start button and now click on the gear here to open the settings, now come over to system and down here to about, and under system type it should say whether you have a 64-bit or 32-bit computer, and in my case I have a 64-bit computer. And you're going to want to download the correct version of Java for if you have a 32-bit or 64-bit computer. So in my case, I have a 64-bit computer, and I'm going to want to download the Windows Offline 64-bit. And if you have a 32-bit computer, you're going to need to download Windows Offline. So I already have Java downloaded and installed, so I'm not going to install it again. It's pretty straightforward, you just install it like any other program. Now the second thing we're going to need to download is our Minecraft server software. So this will be the second link in the description, and this is on the official Minecraft.net website. You're just going to want to scroll down a bit until it says play Minecraft on these devices, and you'll see 2 options: download Minecraft Java Edition server software and download Minecraft server software. You're going to want to download the Java Edition server software. For the Java Edition, this one here is for the Bedrock edition of Minecraft. So go ahead and click on get it here, and that's going to bring you to this page here. Then you're going to want to come down here to where it says download Minecraft_server 1.14.4.jar, or whatever version you are trying to make a server on. So go ahead and click on it, and it's going to start your download. So now that our download has finished, Google Chrome tends to think that .jar files could be harmful to your computer. Make sure you click keep, or else it's going to automatically delete the file. Now you're going to want to minimize out of Chrome, and you can now exit out of these settings if you would like. And you're going to want to go to your desktop and right click on it and then click on new and then folder. Now you could create this folder wherever you want on your computer. I just recommend putting it on your desktop just so you have easy access to it. So you're going to want to give it a name. You could pretty much call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it Minecraft server. I'd recommend just calling it Minecraft server just so you know that it is your Minecraft server. Now double click on the folder to open it. Now we're going to want to come back to Chrome here, and you're going to want to take our server.jar file, and you're going to want to drag it into the folder here. And we can now open our folder here, and you can see that server.jar is in our Minecraft server folder. Now you're going to want to right click on it and rename it to just server.jar, because I've already downloaded this once, so it put the 1 there. But just make sure it's called server.jar. This is very important. And now we can actually go back into Chrome, and on the Minecraft.net page where you downloaded the .jar file, you'll see this Java code here. You're going to want to highlight it, right click on it, and then click on copy. Now go back into our Minecraft server folder here, right click, go to new text document, and that's going to create a new text document in this folder here. You're going to want to double click on it. You don't need to give it any name because we're going to delete it in a second. But once you're in Notepad, you're going to want to paste the code that we just copied. And there's a couple changes we need to make here. The first thing here is where it says Minecraft_server 1.14.4.jar. Highlight everything between Minecraft and just before the .jar there, and you're going to want to erase it and just call it server. That is because our .jar file here is called server.jar. So you're going to want to name it whatever our .jar file is called. Now the second thing here we're going to want to change is our RAM here. So you'll see 1024 in 2 places, and this is the amount of RAM we're going to be allocating to our server. So a rule of thumb is to have 1 gig of RAM for every 5 players playing on your server. So 1 gig of RAM should be okay, but I usually like to bump this up to 2 gigs of RAM, which is 2048. And you're going to want to change it in both places here. And you can allocate as much RAM as you want, up to half of the amount of RAM you have in your computer. So once again, let's actually go back into the settings here and go to system and about, and now under installed RAM it shows that I have 16 gigabytes of RAM installed. Now you don't want to use more than half your RAM that you have installed on your computer. So in my case, I could use up to 8 GB of RAM. However, 8 gigs of RAM is actually quite overkill. You really only need 2 gigs of RAM. 2 gigs of RAM is more than enough. Alright, so we can actually minimize out of our settings here. And the final change we need to make in this text document is you're going to want to come to the end here and hit enter, and then in all caps type pause. I spelled that wrong. There we go. So the reason why we want to write pause is just in case there's an error with the code here. It's instead of just instantly closing, it's going to actually give us an error message. So that's very important to have for troubleshooting. Now finally, we're going to want to come up here to file and then click save as, not save, save as. And you're going to want to call this run.bat, B-A-T. And then under save as type, change that to all files and then click on save. Now we can exit out of the notepad here and you can delete this new text document if you would like. Alright, so now you're going to want to double click on the run.bat to run our server. And if everything is correct, it should open a command window here. And now it's going to say press any key to continue. So now that's going to exit out of the command window and you'll see a couple more files were generated in our Minecraft server folder. Go ahead and open eula.txt and you're going to want to change eula equals false to eula equals true. Go ahead and hit file and then save, and we can exit out of this. Now you're going to want to open run.bat one more time. And by the way, when you open run.bat, this is essentially running your server. So whenever you want to run your server, you're going to want to open run.bat. Now it's going to take a second to generate some more files. It's also going to generate your Minecraft world. So just give it about a minute to load. Alright, awesome. So technically our Minecraft server is perfectly up and running. So there are a couple configurations we're probably going to want to make. So go ahead and type stop, and what this is going to do is going to stop our server. This is how you're going to want to stop your server every single time. You don't want to hit the X button here because let's say you're playing in a world and you do a lot of stuff in it and you hit X here. Some of the changes you made in your world won't be saved. So you want to type stop every time and hit enter to stop your server. That's going to save everything. Now press any key to continue. Now you're going to want to come down here to the server.properties folder, and you're going to want to right click on it and then click open with and then notepad. Now you'll see a whole bunch of settings here that you can configure your server with. So for example, you could change the difficulty to peaceful, normal, hard. You could change the game mode here from survival to creative. You could turn PvP off, so if you don't want your friends killing each other, you could change that to false. One more thing I would recommend looking into is if your friends play on cracked Minecraft and you want them to be able to join your server, you're going to want to change online mode to false. And there's a whole bunch of other things you can change here. Once you're done changing your server.properties folder, come up here to file and then save, and you can close out of that. So let's go ahead and run our server again. So let's double click on run.bat. Alright, awesome. So our server is up and running. So let's go ahead and open up Minecraft real quick. Alright, so now that Minecraft has loaded up, head over to multiplayer, add server, give it a name of your choice, and then under server address, type in local host. So right here we're just doing a test to see if you yourself can connect to your own server. So go ahead and hit done. And at the bottom here you can see our server is up and running. So go ahead and double click on it. And we've now loaded into our server. So at this point our server has pretty much been successfully set up, but at this point only you can join your server and none of your friends can join. So let's go ahead and fix that. So at this point you can just disconnect from your server and you can just minimize Minecraft for now. Now go ahead and head over to the third link in the description, and this is going to be for Radman VPN. And this is a program we're going to use to avoid port forwarding and connect all of your friends into one virtual network. You can also use a program called Hamachi, which is essentially the exact same thing. I just prefer Radman VPN because you don't need to create an account to use it. So just go ahead and click on free download here. And once it's done downloading, go ahead and click on it to install it. Then click on yes. Then click on OK. I accept, and then install, and give it a second to install. Alright, so now that's done installing, go ahead and click on finish, and it's going to automatically open. So I've already used this before, so I already have some settings and servers created. So the first thing you might want to do is go over to system and then change your name, and you can give yourself whatever username you want. Also, it's going to be turned off by default, so you're going to want to click the power button here to turn it on. So now you're going to need to create a new group for your friends to connect to. So come up here to network and create a new network. Now give it a network name. This could be whatever you want, and I'll just call this the How to Guide Tuts. It could be literally whatever you want. And under password, you could put whatever password you want. Just make sure it's easy for you to remember, and also it's easy to give out to your friends. And then you're going to want to confirm it. And then go ahead and click on create. And that just created our new group. So now you're going to want to give out the name of your network and the network password to your friends for them to join. Alright, so over on your friend's computer, once they have downloaded RadmanVPN, they're now going to need to connect to your network that you created earlier. So for them to do so, they're going to need to open RadmanVPN, hit the power button, and then they're going to want to click on Join Network. They could also find this under Network, and Join Existing Network. And then they're going to want to enter the network name and password that you created earlier. So in my case, the network name I created was the How to Guide Tut, and I'm just going to enter the password that I created earlier. And then click on join, and if everything goes successfully, they should be in the network that we created earlier, and they should be able to join your Minecraft server. Okay, so now it's finally time to connect to our server. So you're going to want to give out this IP here under Radman, under your username, to your friends. This is also the IP you can use to connect to your server. So let's go ahead and try that out. So let's go to add server, server address, and let's type that in. Okay, now let's go ahead and hit done, and just give it a second to load, and you can see here it is online. So let's go ahead and double click on it to join. And there we go, we are finally on our server. So I'm going to go ahead and connect on my other computer. So I was successfully able to connect to my Minecraft server running on my laptop, and so all your friends should be able to join your server at this point. So you've now successfully created a Minecraft server for 1.14.4 using no port forwarding. So I hope this tutorial helped. If it did, leave a like. If it didn't, leave a dislike. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to help you guys out. I also have a Discord server if you guys would like to reach me on there, and the link for that is in the description below. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.